Hey everyone, Tim from the Word of Life Church. Hope everyone's having a good day. Wanted to come on and hit some news articles of interest. Sunny skies outside and blue skies, sorta, and sunny weather. Cold though. I'm ready for spring. Lord willing, we'll get there though. And yes, you can see one of the camera happy cat. Yeah, see, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Now this one is Mama's baby, okay? But I guess I'll do second if Mama's not around. You know what I mean? Oh boy. At any rate, let's dive into the news here. That way we won't take so awful long. Hopefully I'm there again. Pray you guys that I don't get any on a soapbox and start going off and running a rabbit trail, which I'm want to do. First news entry, or first on the list is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to do three, four different things at once here. This is basically, the title is "Prepare Now or Prepare to Die." Dictator threatens to wipe out all of America at once. Plans satellite launch in days. Might be a test, might be attack. Expert warns, and I believe I've reported on this before. I don't need to open it up because I already had it open up. Let me read you some of this. This is from the All News Pipeline. Experts have long warned that in the event of an EMP attack, which is an electromagnetic pulse attack upon America, up to or more than 90% of Americans would die in the following year to 18 months due to a total breakdown of the electricity dependent society. Yeah, amen, that's true. If we can't throw something in the microwave and it be done in 5 seconds, then we're just miserable. As we learn in the story in the videos below, such an attack might happen sooner than later, and experts warn we'd likely not even find out about it until it was far too late. Now, getting into the meat of the story here, it says, while most Americans laugh off such a possibility, and they do, and say that it will never happen, the danger is all too real. And as we learn in this story from WorldNet Daily via Joseph Farah's G2 bulletin, North Korea is now preparing a southern trajectory satellite launch within the next several days or weeks, said to be only a test. Launch believed by former U.S. Ambassador Henry Cooper to be something that could soon affect the lives of all Americans. According to a Dr. Peter Pry in his Bioprepper story, North Korea is a mortal threat to America right now. Now, I believe, as I said, I reported on this, 2 or 3 weeks back about, the tests they've been doing and the satellites, and they're saying, oh, we're just testing it because we want to be able to send, a spaceship in orbit. Want to join the space race. Want to have all the wonderful toys that all these other countries have. Well, let's see. Let me read on just a little bit more here to get kind of the full gist of the story here. Even though South Korea and Japan are concerned about this latest provocation by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and there's there's a lot I could say about this person, this Kim Jong-un, but I would have to. If I got in myself, I would have to repent after it. We're talking about a guy that, just for the fun of it, just has people executed. He had his uncle, if I remember this part of the story correctly, that helped him get in power. I believe now, but the end story is true. He basically went against him this Kim Jong-un went against him, and for some reason decided he was his enemy and didn't want any challenges or anything. Put the man in a arena or cage full, I believe, of I don't know what kinds, but put him in a cage full of 25 vicious dogs that had not been fed like in 2 or 3 weeks. These dogs literally ate this man alive. That's who we're dealing with. You're saying, well, brother, that's kind of, it's kind of a far stretch executing one person as compared to an entire country, is it? What beliefs do they have? They don't have any beliefs. They're not Christians. They believe we're just a bunch of animals, but they believe what scientists tell us about evolution. The strongest is going to survive and is going to wipe out the weak. But he has threatened to wipe out all the U.S. at once by doing this, by sending a satellite-based missile down. It said North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, we learn in this new story that the launch of a satellite between February 8th and the 25th is actually aimed at crushing the U.S. and Washington, D.C., if we're to believe anything at all that the North Korean leader says. He could be lying, he could be just being, we're talking about a guy, this guy's a, something nice to say that wouldn't be bad. He is not a nice person. Let's just leave it at that. If we're to believe anything that he says, he's also threatened to wipe out all the U.S. all at once. Only an EMP attack would likely accomplish such a result. When a moon goes off in orbit, sends out an electromagnetic pulse, it will shut down the entire electrical grid system of this country. They've been talking about this for a long time as weapon. They actually probably have even got. Hey, look, there again, Hollywood showing its tail. Does anyone remember? I believe it was 95, 96 maybe. The first James Bond movie that Pierce Brosnan starred in was called GoldenEye. That was the basis of the entire story. The GoldenEye was a satellite that was a orbital EMP-based weapon that would ignite and send an electromagnetic pulse over an entire region and shut everything with electrical equipment down. See, they were even talking about that in Hollywood as a scenario back then. So add on about another 20 to 30 years prior to that, and we'll know some of the stuff that we and other countries have been able actually to do, probably with weapons similar to what they portrayed in the movie. Now, granted, you can just send a missile to do it, but also if you have specific areas or something, probably areas that actually will be able to focus energy pulse to wipe out a certain area. So at any rate, but that's staggering to think about. If that's the case, 90% of Americans will die within 18 months because of this, and I can fully see that. I can think about that and see the results of that and see what would happen and see how that scenario will play out. So we're keeping an eye on it. I think everyone is getting tired of Kim Jong-un. I know I'm getting tired of hearing about him. I'm getting tired of hearing about his latest execution list. He's killed girlfriends, family members, supposed friends that he believes he's paranoid. He's like a spoiled kid, like a spoiled brat that just stomps his feet and they can't have something and just goes on a tantrum and starts killing everybody. At any rate, excuse me for just 1 second here. My excitement here, I got my glasses on, smeared. Okay, let's move on after that. That's a definite soapbox for me. This idiot in North Korea. We say as a country, and other countries do not have. They say they do not have a policy of assassination. But let me tell you this: he is still this Kim Jong-un is still in power for a reason. If other countries wanted him out of the way, he would have already been out of the way. Well, we don't assassinate anybody. Do you really believe that? Have you still got that sand in your eyes and your ears where you just recently pulled your head out of the sand to believe that, or is your head still in the sand? Oh boy. Everyone remembers Edward Snowden, right? The whole, whistleblower. Sorry, drinking my coffee while it's still hot. Well, Snowden's chronicler reveals her own life is under surveillance. Laura Poitras, I believe that's how you pronounce it, has a talent for disappearing. In her early documentaries like My Country, and The Oath, her camera seems to float invisibly in rooms where subjects carry on intimate conversations if they're not being observed. Even in Citizens 4, a Oscar-winning film that tracks her personal journey from first contact with Edward Snowden to releasing his top-secret NSA leaks to the world. She rarely offers a word of narration. She appears in that film exactly once, caught as if by accident in the mirror of Snowden's Hong Kong hotel room. So apparently this person is claiming that she is under electronic surveillance and other kinds of surveillance. It doesn't surprise me. People, our surveillance techniques and technology is so far ahead that we would probably just shudder to think what they can do. And I often think about that. Now I'm gonna tell you a quick story here. Now they said they can actually do this. Okay, they've actually got programs that they can hack into your computer and turn your video camera on and basically see what's going on when you don't activate it yourself. To my knowledge, I've never had that happen. I've got a little light that comes on beside it that alerts me that the camera's on. And so unless they got something to block that, I've never seen that happen. I used to work with a person, a very paranoid. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. A very paranoid person that the computer in the area that was supposed to be a general computer for all the workers to come in and clock in on the time. We had a time clock on the computer that we clocked in on. And she used it quite a bit. And most of the time that's what she would do. Her trouble tickets when she was working on the computer, she would use that computer. Well, we would come in days finding stuff taped over the camera and find out it was her. We just was like, okay, that's a little bit nuts, that's a little bit paranoid. But even back then we'd heard murmurings of ways that they could do that. They could turn on that camera without you even knowing it. Why they didn't even want to do it to where in our office that nothing was going on except just work on computers. I wouldn't know, but she apparently felt the need to do that. Paranoid, very paranoid, and people call me paranoid. All right, let's move on. Chicago Stock Exchange said on Friday an investor group led by China's Chongqing Casino Enterprise Group has agreed to buy the company. More economic news, of course. We're in, still seems like we're right on the precipice, and it's just like they're threatening. It's like the world leader threatening. It's like, well, if we don't do this the way we want to, we're going to tip it one way or the other. Tip it back. Okay, well, it's not so bad. Tip it forward a little bit. Oh, look out, we're about to head over the edge here. And they control that. They do that on purpose. It's a matter of fear. Now, I'm not saying that the threat is not real. Yes, many other countries are having these issues as well. It's a worldwide problem right now. The economy of the world is world problem, and people that are pulling money out, fire safing it, keep doing that, because something could happen overnight. A bank bail in, their doors shut, your money gone. That could happen overnight. So keep doing what you're doing. Have a good exit plan. Have a good nest egg for however long that money will be worth what it's worth after something like this happens. You know, that's at least something. That's at least something you can do to try to help yourself. Don't just do nothing and sit there and just say that ain't never going to happen. They're just saying that, and they're just trying to put fear in our hearts. Well, no, it may be the Lord actually keeping something from happening right away to give people time to come to their senses and actually try to help themselves. So, like I said, if you're doing that, then carry on. It's better to do that. See, if everything got rosy again, economy just started flourishing, and no more talk of collapse was going on, and everything was great, and everything, you could put that money back in or do it. I wouldn't advise it. I would still keep a decent amount, keep a good nest egg out. And hidden, and fire saved, hidden, whatever, I will do that just in case, because you never know when something like that, well, peace, and then sudden destruction comes upon them. I believe that applies to this whole entire planet right now, in every country. Kind of a little, let's see here. Now, stuff like this is what really gets me. It doesn't give that I saw the link to the video. It just gives still frames of showing beforehand. But it says English speaking child issues chilling warning to America before beheading prisoner in latest sick ISIS video. Okay, so what we have here. And this is from the, if it'll quickly hurry and load here. This is from the dailymail.com. It says, the title, English speaking child issues chilling warning up to America before beheading prisoner. The latest sick ISIS video. I know some of the captions of what was said. It says the boy threatens America for arming and funding ISIS's enemies in Syria. Well, it's kind of funny seeing how we armed ISIS to begin with all the equipment and weapons that were left in Iraq, and believe it or not, whatever. It says we will destroy them, he says, as he points his dagger down the camera lens, and it does have a picture that shows a guy kneeling down, shows a little boy that's barely. That's not much taller than the guy kneeling down on his knees, pointing a dagger at the camera straight out. Said the executed man is thought to be a fighter for the Levant Front rebel faction. Footage appears to show destruction caused by airstrikes on ISIS territory. See full news coverage on ISIS at www.dailymail.co.uk /ISIS. And as I said, the picture, I'll show you a boy pointing his dagger at the camera, a guy with his hands behind his back and kneeling down with his head down. And after the speech and what he talked about and everything, and this is not a family friendly type of a video that but basically, and I've seen these videos before. He basically saws the guy's head off with his knife, some kind of dagger, saws the guy's head off. I've seen this before. I've seen them executing people before by, shooting him in the back of the head. Not, like I said, not really anything that you want to play if you find the video. And I'm not going to give the link for it or say where it is or anything. If you want to do the research and look for it, then you can find it. If you even want to. There's no point really. I mean, if it's just, it's what they do. That's what they do. Against them. We don't convert over. We don't want to convert. Well, they'll just kill us. That's their mentality. But we've got Americans actually that are going to fight for that cause, that are so deceived that they want to go and do that. They want to become part of that. There was a while back, was it? Who was reporting on this? If I remember the story correctly, there was three women or younger girls that got this big thing. Well, we're going to go over and we're going to join ISIS and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Well, that didn't happen. Reported. Ended up they basically were, how would put this in a nice way, used in various ways that are pretty bad, and pretty much put in their human trafficking system. They thought, well, we'll go over there, we'll get these camos and wear these turbans and get AK-47s, and we're going to kill these people and fight for their cause. It didn't quite work out that way for them. So people, be warned. You may go over thinking you're going to be doing one thing, and you're going to be end up at the very least, and probably the best thing is death. And I hate even saying that, especially if you're not saved by the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ and ready to go. And if you were that to begin with, you wouldn't be going over and trying to join this group of murderers anyway. Sad story. Oh, let's move on. Experts warn of destruction of food chain, edging towards completion. Whole systems out of whack and other freakish phenomena. So, yes, the food chain, we know, well, everyone knows about, I've talked about this, and other people have reported and talked about the whole Fukushima issue. That's the poisoning and killing everything in the Pacific Ocean. And the killing the food chain. And it's, that's, the picture is, it shows beached animals. I can't tell exactly what they are. I believe they look sort of like seals. Or dolphins. One I can't tell, but there's a picture that's inside of it that's kind of just faded, but you can tell what it is, and it shows three skeletons all sitting. One of them with hands over the eyes, the other with hands over the ears, and the other with hands over the mouth. The whole three monkey see. All that. But anyway, there's not much I could read through this story, but basically, it's exactly what we're talking about. The food chain is just dying, and the animals, of course, it works that way. Food chain, and it kind of goes up the line, up from the smallest type animals to the large, to in the ocean. Let's say it was a heart-wrenching story. That's one thing that does get me. I hate to see animals die or be mistreated, because I love animals. I love God's creation. I don't love this world system. In fact, I despise it, because it's the prince of this world. It's his system. He was defeated at the cross, but the deal hasn't been totally 100% sealed yet. But it will be when the Lord comes back the second time around. But anyway, I have pets, as I said, and I hate to see anything suffer. So stories like that really get them. And of course, as far as people like the previous one about people getting killed, that doesn't even compare. I know animals are animals and people are people. The Bible talks about the animals going downward, but the soul of the man goeth upward. But still doesn't mean I want to see them mistreated. They're part of God's creation, and I think He placed us in charge of the creation, to subdue it, but also not to squander it and not to do what some people do. Some people are just cruel when it comes down. This is to do with the food chain in the Pacific Ocean. the reactor, the Fukushima reactor. They said, oh, it's under control. Yeah, right. And with animals showing up with growths on it because of the radiation and bleaching. Not to mention all the other animal kills worldwide that's going on right now. There's several people that report on that. I know Brother Paul Bagley. He reports a lot of that. He's had a list from time to time of a person that compiled every animal kill that's under mysterious circumstances for 2 or 3 years now, maybe even longer than that. That he's not read all the way through it, but or maybe he has. But I mean, it's just widespread, and he believes there is a prophecy in the book of Hosea, talks about where the Lord has a controversy with the land, and talks about the animals dying off and everything. There's no doubt about it. There's animal kills, whatever's causing it. If it's whatever man related, if it's HAARP, the high frequency active auroral research project that helps weather modification, if it's doing that, or what exactly is going on. It still is going on, people. Okay. It's a we are in the last days. Anybody that says we're not, they need to take a real hard look at what they're talking about. Okay, here's where we're getting over into some of the weird stuff here. Genetic editing. I've talked about this. You guys have heard me mention this. Genetic editing, if I can talk, is like playing God. And what's wrong with that? Question mark. Said what's wrong with that is simple. They will create these little replacements with their perverted designs, incorporating their evil master's wishes, meaning the world elite. Picture of it, pop-ups. Of course, the story, the title of the story, and it says British scientists are getting permission. They've already done it. They're just trying to get permission to do it to where they don't have time anymore. British scientists are getting permission to alter embryos' DNA. Oh boy, people, what are we getting into? We're seeing the return of the Watchers. We're seeing the return of the days of Noah, right after the days of Jared, talks about in the Bible. We have the chance to correct devastating diseases in the womb, so let's get on with it. That's what they're using to say that. Who's going to argue against that? Say, oh, well, we've got technology. If there's anything wrong with the child, we can correct that by altering the DNA and doing all this stuff. So okay, why wouldn't that get approved? We're just that's the same old thing. We're the government. We're here to help you. They're playing God is exactly what they're doing. A man apparently believes he is God. He's his own God. People that do these shootouts, that's what they kind of say. They have, if you go to their, like these children that go on these shooting sprees, listen to the music they listen to, sometimes in some kind of light form of satanic worship Adolf Hitler and the Nazism cause, and have paraphernalia to the effect, believe in the lie of evolution, that we're just all animals, and that why worry about why do I want to deal with the problems I've got to deal with if all it's going to be is a life of rough times and there's going to be nothing afterward. So I'm just going to go out, I'm going to take my rage out on the people that I want to, and then I'm going to take my life, and then I'm just going to go into nothingness. That's exactly what these people believe. It's exactly what these young people believe it's happening. It is sad, but it is happening, people. And then we have this right here. People playing God with, with the Lord's way, said be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. That's what he told us, back in the book of Genesis. But the thing is talking about birth defects. Of course, there's some things that can happen with a woman that may cause problems with the child. But along with that, the stuff that we eat, the stuff that we breathe in our atmosphere, due to the chemtrails and all the junk, their aerosol that they're spraying in the atmosphere for weather control and a host of other stuff to give us, stuff like this, diseases where it's going to cause birth defects. And look at the whole Zika virus thing, bioengineered. People ain't gonna believe that. Bioengineered, released, a mutated version of it, just the standard version, if you want to call it that, discovered in 1947. Thought it wasn't a problem anymore, eradicated. Here we go, it resurfaces, a mutated version that causes birth defects, causes microencephaly in children, makes them have small heads and small brains when they're born, a crippling birth defect. It's bioterror, depopulation controls, Agenda 21 stuff from the UN, like the Georgia Guidestones. Keep the human race under this certain number. That way the planet will be able to sustain these people, this many people. And mainly it's the elite. They could care less. They want us out of the way. They want us gone. They want us dead. It's only by the grace of God that we are still walking around right now. Only by the grace of God that I'm still able to sit here and talk and do this and bring you the truth of what's going on. And these other people that are doing the same thing, these other watchmen, these other good men and women of God. There's a lot of them on YouTube, and a lot of them I'm subscribed to. And they're doing the same thing. Bringing to you the news, bringing to you the truth of what's going on. God bless them. Keep on. Watchmen, watchwomen, watchmen, keep on. Not just embryos, but fully born. Here we go. Genetically modified humans. Bioethics Center says Britain's approval, and they got approval, to alter the DNA of the unborn is a definite first step toward the creation of the inhumans, which basically are human-animal hybrids. What did we talk about in the days of Noah? I've not went into a lot of that because people will not. I'll say this, except for a few people, a few pastors, a few congregations, maybe even in my area, would even accept me telling what God has allowed me to see and do through research and see what was going on, about what was going on in the days of Noah before the flood. It wasn't, people just say that it was because of sodomy that, well, and there's other sins, but it talks about, seems like that's a big thing. Well, it was because of the sodomites that God brought the flood upon the earth. No, there were, well, that's one of them, that was probably one of the smallest ones. There were other things going on that would, if you were to see, understand, that would blow your mind, and a lot of it has to do with just what I read. Now, this talking about Inhumans, brother in Christ, he's written several books that I have. I mentioned his name before, Thomas or Tom Horn. I believe I'm doing a DVD, and actually, let's see, let me bring it up. I can't remember if it's a DVD or a book along with it. But anyway, he explores what's going on with this, and basically that's just what it is. It's the creation of human-animal hybrids. If you want to read more about that, go to a good website. It has a lot of good updates, daily updates, or every other day updates about stuff. And that's skywatchtv.com. So subscribe to that site, bookmark it, very good site. And I read let me go just a little bit into okay, so yes, they do have a documentary, Inhuman documentary. I don't see a book. I believe it's just a documentary. I'm not going to go through and read all this. I would rather you really take the time, this is something to understand what's going on that you really need to sit and look at. I'm not saying you have to buy the DVD. I would like to have it just because of the research that I do into some of this stuff. So I may end up getting that, and who knows? I may, if I do it, I'll tell you what it is. But you'll get the idea basically of what we're talking about if you read this and search the site, do some more research on it. There'll be other stuff on it as well. But we're talking about genetically modified human. We're talking about transgenics. We're talking about. I've said this before. If especially the military, DARPA, and all these other research facilities that do stuff for the military, do different kinds of weapons and bioweapons and such for the military. This is just one of the things they do. We're talking about transgenics, the blending of human and animal, making a type of hybrid. Now, a lot of people say that, especially two different kinds of animals can't mate and it work that way. Well, they're saying, well, we can't do that with humans and animals. You have to remember, okay? You have to remember that there is a supernatural aspect to this stuff that they're doing, okay? That's what is making it work. It's the same thing that happened back in the days of Noah. There's a spiritual aspect. Now there's science behind it, but it's supplemented, and the only way they can make it work is through supernatural means. The prince of this world, the demonic spirits, the fallen angels, where we're getting a lot of this stuff that we can do, technology and help from these scientists that work for the elite. It's getting it from them. They're getting it from spiritual sources, okay? A lot of people think all this stuff is crazy and everything. People, it is happening. Believe me, it's happening. Do your research. It is happening. We are in the last days, and what have I said time and time again? People, the church, what I call normal Christians that go and have their, just have their little canned services, nothing ever happens, just the same old thing every Sunday and everything. They are not prepared, and the church as a whole is not fully prepared for the things that are coming on the earth. Men's hearts failing them for fear. Fearful sights coming in the heavens, signs in the heavens, but also of things that are going on right now on this planet. I'm moving on. But do your research, people. Go to that website, skywatchtv.com, and read some of it. A lot of it is going to seem so wild that you just won't believe it, but stay with it and read it and listen to the interviews and the people, the experts that research this stuff. And I believe it'll be better. I believe you'll gain an understanding of some things that not a lot of people will have an understanding of. So at any rate, there it stands. Okay, this is interesting. Yeah, we got time. Hey, we're not in a hurry. What's going on with mysterious post office box number 666 at the Bermuda Triangle, where Google is sheltering $8 billion? What? Okay, I'm intrigued. Sheltering $8 billion a year. And it shows a Google map, and it shows... Okay, let's see here. Google has no office, no staff, and little more than a plain P.O. box numbered 666 on the sunny Caribbean island of Bermuda. But it still sends $8 billion in profits a year to the island, which happens to have a 0% corporation tax rate. Well, know why they're there. Google Communications Chief Peter Barone today insisted the billions of pounds funneled, and this is British pounds, funneled from the search engine's global network of subsidiaries had no impact on the firm's tax bill in Britain. The Sun on Sunday today revealed their Bermudan government's registrar companies, Google Bermuda Unlimited and Google Ireland Holdings, are registered to the address of Conyers, Deal and Pierman, a law firm at Clarendon House, 2 Church Street, Hamilton. Firm based just a few more streets in P.O. Box, which happened to Google directs billions of profits, etc., etc. I'm not going to spend any time. I just thought that was kind of funny. 666 in the Bermuda Triangle. That's something else that I won't get into now. That's kind of on the outside of just the standard knowledge of stuff that's going on this planet right now. Okay, if aliens visit Earth, they'll take charge. Well, they normally do in the movies, don't they? SETI scientists, SETI, S-E-T-I, which is basically the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, is what that stands for. They have huge, binoculars, and they're listening for, messages from way out outer space. SETI scientist claims ET will have the upper hand thanks to its superior technologies. And this guy that put the article up here said, in my opinion, NASA is prepping that which they have denied all along. Biggest liars in the universe. Enter Exo-Vaticana. Exo-Vaticana is a book by the people I mentioned earlier, or one of them, Thomas Horn, and the gentleman that co-wrote it, his name is Chris Putnam. Brothers in the Lord, very intelligent. It's an awesome book. I suggest if you want to get a full picture of the deception that's coming and what's going on back in the days of Noah, all the way up to what's going on today, get that book, Exo-Vaticana. Skywatchtv.com, they have a bookstore in there that you can order from. I highly recommend it. Exo-Vaticana by Thomas Horn and Chris Putnam. Write that down. Skywatchtv.com is the website. And I'm not going to go any further into that because I would rather that's something that you actually study once again and read for yourself. Because just to hear me try to say it, I can't get the breadth and the scope of everything that would need to be said for you to get a grasp of it, and you would just think that I'm more nuts than I already am. So anyway, let's see. Moving on down, we're trying here quite a bit more, but we'll try to get it. Donald Trump mocks President Obama for his gentle bombing of ISIS to save the environment while jetting to Hawaii to play golf. Well, that's nothing new. World will be about to be swallowed up by the sun, and Obama will be on the golf course saying, well, last game of golf I'll ever do, so I'm gonna go out playing golf. Senator, we must prepare for the unthinkable. U.S. police chiefs warn of growing threat from ISIS. I agree. Obama should be charged under new law he is pushing for supporting terrorist groups. I don't know if there's any way how you could really know this, well, other than probably to the upper levels of intelligence, and I'd hope that that there may be still good men and women of God in higher places that know this stuff, that might release this stuff. How you would know how many cells with the government bringing them over and allowing them across the border, how we would know how many cells, ISIS and Al Qaeda terrorist cells, that are here in the U.S. in every state, and when they get the go ahead, what they're going to do. Of course, create havoc. Human bombs. Strapping bombs to the chest, mass shootings, all the way up to possibly bioterror type situation, releasing something, a disease or something like that has no cure, or even a suitcase nuke in the heart of the city. It's a real threat, people, and thanks to our wonderful government, thanks to our president and his cabinet, we just allowed stuff to go on. And it's not just him; it was prior under the presidents before him, even under Bush's presidency. Everybody, well, no, these Republicans, they're conservative. They don't do anything like people. They're politicians. All they care about is money and power and control. They care about you when they go visit the state because they want your vote. They'll sit there and grin, and shake your hand and pat your back and stuff like that, thinking, well, this idiot, boy, I hope he votes for me. These bunch of idiots in this room, as long as I get their vote, I don't care. I don't care about them. I'm not going to help them. Money, power, and control. That's what they're after. They care nothing for you. And that's what I tell these people that serve Satan. You have a master that cares nothing for you. Why don't you come over to a master and a God and a Lord that actually cares something for you and loves you and wants to see you saved? Saved by the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the only way. The only way you're going to make it to heaven. So I'm going to get into that base up. We've talked about that, about the terrorist cells and all the stuff that could potentially happen from that. Urban survival, how to survive during rioting and urban unrest. I've served my country faithfully. I am and always will be a patriot. But I remind you of America's history and the fine line between rebel, patriot, and Minuteman. That's true. That would be interesting to get into study, but just for time's sake, I'm trying to get through these. May read it and I can do something on it later, mention something about it later. But yeah, I agree. That's a very good statement. There is a difference between being a rebel, a patriot, and a Minuteman. If we're being invaded, but we're being treated as the enemies. If we have a gun, we're an enemy. We're an enemy of the state. They don't want you to be armed, They just want us to sit back and play dead, like a possum, and let someone just run over you, terrorist or whatever, and you not be armed, and the government has a force that's eventually going to well, we won't get into that right now. There again, that goes into the other realm area stuff. But I'll mention one word, and people, if you want to believe it or not, totally up to you. And that word is FEMA camps. Okay? It's nothing new. I guess if I was to consider myself one of those, I'm not a rebel. I'll consider myself a patriot and a Minuteman. If I were to be called up to defend my family, my friends, my, whatever, call up to fight the enemy, the terrorist, or something like that, then yeah, I would do that. Just because I believe, people. Hey, we have people in the military that have spilled their blood and given their lives for this people and country, for a government and military that really cares nothing for them. They were just a number to them. But those people loved freedom and loved their fellow man in a lot of cases, that they were willing to sacrifice themselves for us. War, WW1, WW2, all the other wars and everything. Last one where we all got together as a nation was World War II. After that, no. Splintered in so many directions. So let's move on. Super EMP missile launch window approaches, and the mortal nuclear threat to the United States right now. We talked about that earlier, talking about North Korea. Kim Jong-un, the little, moving on. Come on. You got to get off of that. Don't want to. I'm not going to say anything or do anything. I'm going to have to repent for it. I'm just, just needless to say, this guy needs to be taken out of power. But I believe he's being allowed keep power to do stuff that he's doing. See, you know, like the elite, it's a chess game. They're playing it just like a chess game around the world. Imagine having the world as your entire chessboard. You kind of get a grasp of what we're talking about. War warning. Serious grounds to believe Turkey planning military invasion of Syria. We have serious grounds to suspect intensive preparations by Turkey for a military invasion on the territory of the sovereign state of Syria. The whole area is a hotbed. You know, Russia's involved in it. We're involved in it. The whole world's involved in it. You know, and at the very heart of the matter, it all stems out from Israel. The whole world is gathering itself and trying to surround Israel because everybody hates Israel. Everybody hates God's chosen. Well, not everybody. Christian brothers and sisters, true Christian brothers and sisters, realize that the Israelites are God's chosen people. They've turned from Him. Of course, they turned from Him so many times in the past, and now, you know, it's all politics and everything. Now, of course, you still have the rabbis, and we know that there's going to be building of another temple and all that stuff. Stuff's coming. God's not finished dealing with the Israelites, the Jews, because they were His chosen people. Okay, that's not changed. There is no replacement theology. If anyone preaches replacement theology, they're wrong. The church has not replaced Israel. We have, for a certain this amount of time, have been brought in under the plan of grace. That way He can bring all Gentiles, all the world, basically Gentiles other than the Jews, bring them in, and as many as would will be saved except the Lord Jesus Christ. But He still is not finished dealing with the Jews. So mark that down. U.S. eyes ways to toughen fight against domestic extremists. But the problem is the feds protect their turf, and remember what happened at this whole militia standoff ended up in death. You know, so feds protect their turf by reclassifying patriots as domestic terrorists, and even Christians are on that list as well. I think even higher than what they than what they put the Islamic terrorists. We're pretty close to the top. Like, you know, if you believe in the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, you're a conservative, you're a Christian, you believe in the Second Amendment, then you're a threat to the government. That's what they believe. Zika virus. Here we go. Zika virus was patented in 1947 by the Rockefeller Foundation. That's interesting. Latest actor in the fake pandemic play, the Zika virus. Another fake pandemic like Ebola. So what are we to believe? Do we believe that things that are going on and everything and all these reports are, and when, you know, shows people and stuff, are they these crisis actors as they call them? Or is there a real actual threat? Or is it some kind of false flag to direct us and keep us looking in a certain direction while all these other things are going on around that we're not watching for? Watchmen, watch everything. Don't just focus on the one thing. And I know you guys out there, you watch and you see the stuff that's going on the outside. You know why I know that? Because I do the same thing. That's what we're supposed to do. We have a calling to be a watchers. Then let's watch. Watch everything that goes on. Don't let nothing get by. If you have to warn people, no matter how crazy it sounds, sound an alarm. Sound one. Blow that shofar, the large animal's horn, to let the people know that the enemy is nigh, is coming upon them. Let's see. Well, Jihad Barry. I'm gonna start calling him that. That's kind of funny. Jihad Barry. President Obama showed his true colors again yesterday by visiting a mosque in Baltimore with ties to radical Islam. This is no surprise. Even by admission in an interview, and he had to get corrected by, I forgot who it was in Matt Lauer, I think, was interviewing Obama, and you guys have seen the video, and he even said, well, due to my Muslim faith, and then Matt Lauer said, your Christian faith, and Obama's opposite. Oh, my Christian faith, right there at Mission, right there. Why has nobody mentioned that? Seems like that little interview has just been forgotten and thrown away by his own admission. But oh yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm believe in the teachings of Jesus. But he's certainly going in the very 180. He's going in the opposite direction of the teachings of Jesus. That's certainly the truth. You're in your last term. Just come out and say it. Just come out and say what you really are. It's not going to shock a lot of people. A lot of people know anyway. So just go ahead and just why carry on with the lie? What's the point? Anyway, my goodness. All quiet on the Walmart front. Now, we did some pieces there for a while on that when we were talking about the Jade Helm deal, the whole fiasco, what that was, talking about civilian type warfare and detainment. But it says all is quiet on the Walmart front, and I believe they were closing, I forget how many stores as well. Until now, the real reason why Walmart is closing multiple stores, well, I clicked on it while I was reading it. Hang on. Why Walmart is closing multiple stores, the answer will floor you. And this comes from Lisa Haven News. I recommend her YouTube channel. She has a YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to it. She's a watchman, and she does a good job. So if you go to YouTube, do a search on Lisa Haven, and subscribe to her. And she does, like I said, I think she's a good egg, as everybody says. So let's read this. What it says. I'll read just a little bit of it, and if you want to go there, it's Lisa Haven News. I think it's .net, but sorry, I just want to be right. Don't want to lead you on a wild goose chase. Come on. Okay, LisaHavenNews.net. Okay, and then you'll find the link for that. It says Walmart has been in the limelight for some time now, with discussions of them converting some of their stores into FEMA camps, and their latest ploy of closing multiple stores across the country, 154 to be exact, here in America. But what is the reason for their latest closing of 154 stores? CBS News reports that it's because they are located in small urban areas. Check out this video below by Gary Franchi's The Next News Network. And it's titled, I'm not going to watch it right now, but actually I believe it was out the other day. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. It's Walmart collapse to wipe out 100 towns across America. So, and there's even talk about, that in these stores, there were tunnels underneath these stores for various nefarious reasons and stuff like that. A lot of stuff you have to take, especially on the internet, with a grain of salt, okay, until you have evidence. A lot of times I won't report on something or talk about something, or I'll just gloss over it, especially if I don't have some kind of other knowledge from the Lord or from someone thing that actually has insider type news that can be verified by 2 or 3 different people, by witness, by 2 or 3 people as a witness, and that it's the truth. But we're talking about Agenda 21. And if you don't know what that is, do a search on Agenda 21, okay? It has to do with the United Nations, the UN. And basically this is true. It says the bureaucrats want control of the populace, of course, and the food. Makes sense, doesn't it? Like the old saying goes, if you control the food, you control the people. That is the end game. The plan to enforce Agenda 21 and shift residences from rural areas into cities has been ignited through starvation, removing resources such as Walmart's, building roads around towns, and refusing money to the local urban area government. They will forcibly reduce population growth in urban areas. So once again, we have talking about Agenda 21, talking about what we talked about earlier about these viruses that are coming back, that are mutated strains that they have no cure for. It's just another way of depopulation. The world elite, the satanic group, the Luciferians, doing their chess game, moving the pawns and all the other things, and you know, they're playing God, but they believe that their master is God. They believe Jehovah God is the one that's evil, that doesn't want us as a bad guy. He doesn't want us to have the wisdom and knowledge like he's got. He wants to keep us, dumb. While Lucifer still being, the light bearer, which he's not. He fell. He's now the adversary, the enemy, Satan. They believe he is still God, and he's the one. Oh, he's the light bearer. He's trying to, he was trying to help us, to show us, that we can be like God if we do this. First lie told right there. You shall be as gods. He's still trying to push that lie. You shall be as gods. And these people are believing, taking it hook, line, and sinker. I'm just, where the rubber meets the road. What am I saying? That's what's going on. If you don't believe it, just keep track, keep following it, keep doing research, do your own research. I really encourage people to do their own research and look into things. Now, granted, a lot of people may hit some sites that are so wildly out there and may appear to be the right sites to go to. That's why I try to give the sites that I get this stuff from, that I trust, that has a good history of when they report something, it's an actual good report, and you see that and can confirm it. If it's one I'm in doubt of, I don't give it out. But this is one of the site. This young lady's site, Lisa Haven, is one of the trusted sites and one of them trusted contacts on YouTube, or subscription to her on YouTube. Anyway, so we got more to cover. So do a look up on that. Go to that website, and I like giving you guys homework. Well, this is interesting. Well, I can understand. Okay. Never thought we'd see something like this. Weaponized cell tower features large kill radius. What? This powerful video explains the truth regarding microwave weaponry and other exotic weapons, psychotronic, electromagnetic, radio frequency, HARP, Gwen towers, and ELF waves. Now, remember we talked about that earlier about an electromagnet.
Media reports that Google is funneling.
Excuse me. It's an actual video. You click on it. But we talked about that earlier, talking about the electromagnetic pulse would shut down the electrical grid. But also, if you have microwave weaponry, and I know of at least a trusted report of a certain man that did research, and later on, the guy that was one of the guys of the trust that I get a lot of news from stevequail.com. You go search for that. Was interviewing this gentleman, and I believe he found out exactly, and he had an attempt on his life because of some of the stuff that he dug up, like 3 or 4 times. And one of the times he was the victim of, and he had cancer and it's only by the grace of God that he survived this, but had a focused microwave energy weapon used against him cook you from the inside out, cancer, and he had all that happen, and is still suffering to this day from the effects of it. He's still alive. And we're talking about HAARP, which, as I told you, is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project. They have antenna arrays around the world that are part of a way to control different weather patterns, which is, they were talking about this in the 60s and 70s, okay, about weather warfare. So this is old. Even that's old. So what have they got now that we don't know about? They are people would normally say that science and the military, they're about 10 to 20 years ahead of us. I would say light years ahead of us, just because of the technology they've got and the stuff that gets put in their head by the dark side. Don't want to sound like talking about Star Wars and the Force and stuff like that. I mean from the actual side of evil, from the forces of darkness, implants these things in these scientists and inventors' minds. Maybe even they're communing with them, getting these ideas for different kinds of weapons. Because you have to remember, and I've preached this before, and a lot of times I get blank stares when I say this, but I guess they've never heard it put this way. When you're dealing with these demonic spirits, when you're dealing with these fallen angels, when you're dealing with the very Prince of Darkness himself, you have to remember that you are in a fight, in a spiritual warfare against entities that are millennia, that are thousands of years old, that watch you, that study you, that know you inside, know how to tempt you, talking about the demonic spirits, and have knowledge that goes way beyond what we do. They can implant that and cause something like these things happen, to weaponize, to use for the enemy to use against God's people. But God gives us the Holy Ghost in our lives. Now, they may have these weapons and everything given to them by the forces of darkness, but hey, as I preach too, we've got the most powerful force in existence living within us, and that's the Holy Ghost. In the name of Jesus, all that stuff, all those enemies, all those truths, they have to bow at the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. And we all should bow at the name of the Lord Jesus and thank Him. If you're saved, you should be one of the most happiest people that there is. I know people has depression, oppression from demonic entities time to time, but if you're saved and walking in God's will, you can have the victory over that. And as I said, be just happy that the Lord found you and called you, and that you accepted that calling. That's the thing about it. He can call, and if you don't accept, He may not call again. Now, thankfully, He does a lot of people more than once. And however He does it, and why He does certain things the way He does, He's God. People can't take that. Well, that's just not right. I can't. No, He's God. Listen to Him. He's God. He created you. He gave you the very breath of life to get you up out of bed this morning, to do all the things, all the blessings that He's given you. That's my God. Gives us a beautiful day like He's given us. That's my God. The creation, all that, the beauty of it, that's my God. A future in eternity with the Lord. No more sickness, no more dying, no more woes or worries or anything. It's going to be joy eternal. That's my God. What's your God want to do? You Satanists, you Luciferians, people that fill these videos out and watch them and undercover to find out what's being said and everything like that. What's your God going to do? What's He promised you? Has He promised you a place, a throne beside Him in hell? You're deceived. You've been lied to. As I said, you've been lied to. Someone, that knows you probably in and out, because you've given yourself wholly over to Him. And they are smarter than us. With thousands of years old, they've had time to perfect their game. I'm not going to dwell on this, but I pray that, and you know, I don't hate any of you. I hate your acts. I hate your sins. And you know what? So does the Lord. You need to turn from your wicked ways, and you need to turn to the Lord before it's everlasting too late. Because you're not going to get a seat or a throne beside the devil in hell. You know what? Because he's going there, and then eventually he's going to be cast into the lake of fire, where the Antichrist and the false prophet are, and with all nations and people that forget God. That's going to be your eternal destiny if you keep on with the direction that you're going now. Whoever that's for out there, I know God's word won't return in vain. You must be born again by the Spirit and the water, by the Lord Jesus Christ. There is no other way. You can't come up another way. Even if you know, you're being lied to by the King of all liars. All I can say is I never meet any of you out there probably that are fielding these videos the same way that you guys watch all these other videos and watch them to see what they're saying, to spy out. But whoever you are, I pray that you'll come to the knowledge of the truth, and the Lord will come and knock on your heart's door, and that you'll open that door and you'll accept Him and get out of that junk that you're in. Amen. Okay, so let's move on. We not much, just about 3 or 4 more things. I may not get them all. Well, if I quit hitting the wrong button, it might help here. Article about the Sharia law that they're trying to get here in America. Oh, they would love it. Oh man, the Muslims love if a Sharia law was declared here in the United States. But boy, man, you'd be talking about a war between the Patriots, the Minutemen, and at that point, yeah, rebels against Sharia law. You talk about a bloodbath. Be unbelievable. Who knows? That may be one method that the enemy's going to use. We just don't know. There's so many different ways and different things that they're doing. They're keeping us looking in all different directions. That's part of the game. It's part of what they do. Oh boy. More economic news. Let's see. Talking about the world central banks. There again, with economic stuff, just be prepared. Have an escape plan. Have a game. I think that's all I'm gonna hit on right now. We're way past. Actually, this is probably the longest I've been on the news. But there was quite a bit from yesterday and today that was posted this morning. But anyway, I won't hold you any longer. Watch this. Go to those sites I tell you about and check it out. There's a lot of good sites, people, watchers, people that have written books, very good books that I've gotten. And if any more that I come across, that I believe that would be good for you to read and kind of know what's going on. I'll give you the web address and the website. Some you can get from Amazon. Some actually you have to go to the actual person's website and purchase from them. Oh boy, you're giving them money. Well, you're helping their ministry. Plus, you're getting good researched information in their books. So I've got a library of books that has to do with these stuff, the end times and the past stuff that's happened in the past to what's happening in the present. And I don't say that to brag or anything like that, but I do. I research. And a lot of the stuff that I've talked about, I get in research. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to know and watch what the enemy's doing. So at any rate, I'm gonna hop off here. Got a cat in my lap, and my nose is itching off because. So at any rate, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll probably try to come on after a while and do a teaching or preaching type video after I get my nose to stop itching because of this cat. So anyway, it's a beautiful day out. Get out and enjoy the day if you can. Dress up. Pretty warm. It's cold. And we'll see you in the next video. Blessings in Christ, each and every one of you, and God bless. And we'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later.